So in this video we are going to perform next experiment, which is the determination of Planck's constant with the help of photocell. And before starting experiment, as usual, we are going to understand the instrument first, and then we are going to do the experiment and do the calculation, and finally we will be reaching up to the result. So this is the instrument or the kit for determination of Planck's constant with the help of photocell. So this kit is having so many things. Again, we are going to describe each and everything one by one. Basically, we are having 2 meters, 1 meter for the measurement of voltage across the photocell, and the current flowing through the photocell is measured with the help of this meter, that is microampere meter. These are the 2 points to connect the microampere meter in the circuit. Obviously it is a DC meter, so this is the positive terminal of the meter, negative terminal of the meter. Similarly, in the voltmeter, it is also a DC meter, so this is the positive terminal of the voltmeter and this is the negative terminal. Except these 2 meters, there are switches. The first one is the on-off switch, which is the switch to switch on the kit. Then, to make the microampere meter either sensitive or normal, there is a switch given here. You can select the mode of the operation of microampere meter. If you want to keep it in sensitive, then you have to keep it in this position. If you want to keep it in normal position, this is the normal position. Then the same meter can be used for measuring 1 volt as well as 50 volt. So a toggle switch is given. This toggle switch, when it is in the downward direction, then your voltmeter is going to measure 50 volts maximum. So the upper scale will be used, the upper scales starting from 0 ending to 50 volt. When the switch is in the upper position, it is going to measure 1 volt. Then obviously the lower scale would be used for measurement of potential. So obviously if I keep it in 50 volt and I am using the upper scale, then 1 division of the upper scale is equal to 1 volt. So in that case the least count will be 1 volt. But if I have selected 1 volt range, then the lower scale is to be used. In the lower scale, this bigger division is shown as 0.2 volts. So this 0.2 volt is again divided into 10 divisions. So 0.2 divided by 10 is going to be equal to 0.02. So the least count of this voltmeter when being used for 1 volt range is 0.02 volt. Very sensitive. Similarly, when we deal with the ampere meter, here it is written 20 ampere, and this 20 ampere is divided in 20 microampere, is divided into 10 divisions. So 20 amperes divided by 10 division is equal to 2 microamperes. So 1 division of the microampere meter is denoting 2 microamperes only. So this is about this kit. Now we will try to understand where is the photocell, where is the source, and what are the controls on the source and the cell. Now this is the photocell holder. Inside this hole, there is a photocell, and this is the opening to allow the light to fall on the photocell. This is the bracket which holds the filter. Filter means, suppose we want to expose the photocell to red color, obviously I have to put here a red filter. If I want that the green light should be incident on the photocell, then here I am going to put a green filter. Similarly, to illuminate the photocell, this is the assembly of the source. Here you can see there is a switch, there is a control, that is a potentiometer for varying the potential across the bulb to increase or decrease the intensity of the bulb, and this is the source bulb which provides light inside the photocell. So when I switch on this, the bulb gets on, the bulb is switched on. When I switch it off, the bulb is off. Now keeping this on, if I change the, you can see, if I change the potentiometer, the intensity goes on decreasing. So I can use this for increasing and decreasing the intensity of the source. Now the arrangement of the source and the photocell is like this. This is the photocell. The opening is towards the bulb, and here in this position we put the filters. I want to show you the filters. You can see this is a red filter. When I want that the red light should be incident on the photocell, I place this filter at this bracket. Then the light going inside the photocell is a red light. This is the way in which I put the filter. I am having red filters. I am having say a blue filter. You can see it is a blue filter, and I am also having a green filter. So 3 filters. With the help of these 3 filters, I can perform experiment for 3 different wavelengths. The wavelengths of the filter is given at the time of calculation and reading. While taking reading, we will be discussing about that. So now first of all, let us try to see how we can connect this circuit. The circuit diagram is provided here, as you can see. In the circuit diagram, this portion is inside kit. This variable switch is given here for the variation of the potential. This is the switch for varying the potential. So this variable switch is here. All other things are inside the kit. After this variable switch, the points where we are getting the potential is across the potentiometer itself. So this is the point where we are getting the potential. The same potential is being measured by the voltmeter, this voltmeter, and the same potential will be supplied to the photocell. So for connecting the circuit, according to the circuit diagram, see, this is negative terminal and this is negative terminal. So this negative potential is connected to anode of the photocell. So let us connect the negative portion, negative potential of the cell to the negative potential. Here it is the negative potential. I am connecting this negative potential to the positive terminal or the anode. See, this is the anode. So anode of the cell is connected with this negative potential. Now the positive potential goes to microampere meter, and from microampere meter it goes to cathode. So positive terminal of the supply, this is the positive terminal of the supply. This is getting connected with the positive terminal of the microampere meter. So this is the positive terminal connected to positive terminal of the microampere meter. Now the negative terminal of the microampere meter, this negative terminal of microampere meter, it is connected to the cathode of this photocell. So in this way the circuit becomes completed. Now we can start experimenting with this kit. Now to perform the experiment, I have put the red filter in front of the photocell, and I keep the bulb in the off position. Means first the light incident is 0, means the photocell is in dark condition, and in that dark condition, when I switch on this circuit, switch on this kit, you can see See, before switching on the circuit, before I switch on the circuit, what is the condition of this you can say meter, microampere meter, that you have to see very carefully. Before switching on the circuit, it is at 0 position, means the current is shown as 0 microamperes. I have kept the potential to be equal to 0, and now I switch on. As I switch on, you can see this meter moves to a negative portion, negative current. So there is a zero adjustment in the kit. This, with the help of this zero adjustment, I make the dark current to be equal to 0. For this I am wearing the zero adjustment, and you can see slowly the microampere meter is coming back towards its 0 condition. Can you see it? Now it is again at 0. This is known as zero adjustment. This knob is provided for zero adjustment. This knob is provided for varying the potential applied, that is the negative potential applied across the photocell. So this is the first adjustment and precaution also, that the dark current should be equal to 0. Only if it is equal to 0, then you can start the experiment by switching on the bulb and letting the light fall on the photocell. Now I am going to switch on the light. As I switch on the light, you can see the current on the meter grows to a definite value. Here you can see it is approximately equal to 36 microamperes. This is 20, each division 2, this is 30, so 36 microampere current is flowing as I switch on the lamp, means as I allow the light to fall on the photocell. Now what I have to do, I have to increase the negative potential in such a way that the current starts decreasing, and I have to find that specific negative potential in which the current becomes equal to 0. So this is my aim. Now I am going to increase the potential. You can see I have chosen the 1 volt range of the meter, means I am going to apply 1 volt potential only at the most. I am not choosing 50 volt. And I have kept the meter to the sensitive condition, not normal condition. It is in the sensitive condition. Okay. So these are the experiment. The switch is on, the ampere meter is in sensitive condition, the voltmeter is measuring in the range of 1 volt, and the zero adjustment have been done for the dark current. Now I start varying the potential, and by varying the potential I want to find the potential in which the current flowing through the photodiode becomes equal to 0. So obviously the first reading will be when the potential is equal to 0, the current is equal to 36 microamperes. Now I increase step by step, means one division. I am going to increase the potential to make it equal to first division. First division means 0.2 volt, 0.02 volt. So now it is 0.02 volt. You can see the current has decreased to 32 microampere. Initially it was equal to 36, now it is 32 microamperes. The current voltage is 0.02 volt. Now I make it 0.04 volt. So this is 0.4 volt range. 0.4 volt is applied across the photocell. The current has decreased to approximately 28 microamperes. As I am increasing the potential, step by step I am varying in the steps of 0.02 volt. You can even do it for 0.04 volt. So initially you can take 0 volts reading, then 0.04 volt, 0.08 volt, 0.12 volt, like that. So I have taken 0.4 for 0.4 it is only 28 microamperes. I am making the voltage to be equal to 0.06 and the current reduces to 24 microamperes. I make it 0.08 volts. For 0.08 volts the current reduces to 20 microamperes. For 1.1 volt the current reduces to say 18 microamperes. Again for 0.12 volt I am increasing the potential 0.12. 0.12 volt. For 0.12, the current reduces to approximately 14 microampere. After 0.12, I am keeping it 0.16. See, 0.16 volt. So for 0.16 volt, you can see the current is approximately 12 microamperes. Now I am making it 0.2 volts. It is 0.2 volt. For 0.2 volt, you can see the current has reduced to 8 microampere. Then after 0.2, I am keeping 0.24. See, the current is 0.24, potential is 0.24 volt and the current reduces to 4 microamperes. From 0.24, I varied it to 0.28. For 0.28, you can see the current becomes equal to 2 microamperes. 0.3, still the current is 2 microampere. 0.32, you can see the current reduces to 0. The current in the microampere meter has become equal to 0. So stopping potential using a red filter in front of photocell becomes equal to 0.32 volts. So for red color, the stopping potential for this specific wavelength, it is equal to 0.32 volts. So this is when I am using the red filter. The same thing I have to do for the green filter and the blue filter. So that is all about the experiment, the way of performing the experiment. So this is the reading taken, and you can see here it is serial number. This is the negative potential applied. You can see the potential applied is varied in the intervals of 0.04 volts. See, it is 0.02 plus 0.04, it is equal to 0.06, 0.1, 0.14, 18, 0.22 and so on. So this is our independent variable. We have varied it according to our own wish. With respect to this, we have taken the current flowing through the diode, that is photocell, and the current is measured here in microampere. You can see it is the current in microampere for wavelength of 6143 angstrom. Means this is for the red color, this is for the green color, and this is for the blue color. Okay. This is the highest wavelength, intermediate wavelength. Here in this case, the smallest wavelength used. So you can see as the potential goes on increasing, the current in the microampere goes on decreasing, and for a definite potential it becomes equal to 0. In the case of red color, for 0.44 it has become equal to 0. For green color, the same has decreased in the same way, but it becomes 0 for 0.52 volts. The current for green color becomes 0. Similarly, when we talk about blue color, the current is decreasing, and for 0.8 volt, the current becomes equal to 0. So this is the reading which we have taken from this experiment. Now we are going to show you how we are going to plot the curve, that is the curve between the current and voltage, that is IV characteristics of a photocell. So we have plotted the curve for that reading. In the x-axis, the negative potential is plotted. It is plotted here, negative 0.1 volt, negative 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and so on. In the y-axis, we have plotted the current in microamperes for both, for all the three colors, that is red color, green color and the blue color. The curve is shown here. The first curve belongs to the wavelength of 6143, that is red color. This is the first curve which belongs to the red color. Here you can see as the negative potential is increasing, the current decreases and the current becomes 0 here at this point, which is equal to 0.44 volt, 0.44 volt. So the stopping potential for the red color is equal to 0.44 volt. The second graph you can see current in microampere for wavelength 5645, that is green color. Here also the current decreases. This is second curve belongs to green color. This current decreases and ultimately becomes equal to 0 here after 0.5, which we have seen in the reading, it is 0.52. The third curve is for the wavelength of 5265, which is the blue color. Here also the current is plotted and the current decreases with increase of the negative potential, and at this 0.8 potential, 0.8 volt potential, the current becomes equal to 0. So for blue color the stopping potential becomes equal to 0.8. For red color it is 0.44. For green color the stopping potential is 0.52, and for the blue color the stopping potential is equal to 0.8. Now this is the reading of the stopping potential with respect to wavelength and 1 by wavelength. So this is the wavelength of the red color. As we have seen, the stopping potential for this was equal to 0.44 volt. The green color of wavelength this much angstrom, and the stopping potential was 0.52. 5265 angstrom is the wavelength of the blue color. For this the stopping potential was 0.8 volts. Now what we have to do is we have to get the value of 1 by lambda. So we have divided 1 by 6143 into 10 raised to minus 10, and because of that we get a rounded off figure to be equal to 1627869. Similarly 1 by lambda for the green color is 1771479. 1 by lambda for the blue color, that is 5265, is equal to 1899335. So this is the reading or the second observation table, and now we are going to plot the graph between 1 by lambda and the stopping potential. So obviously 1 by lambda will be along the x-axis and the stopping potential is going to be along y-axis. Now the graph is plotted 1 by lambda versus stopping potential. So you can see along the x-axis we have plotted 1 by lambda. It is 2 into 10 raised to 5, 4 into 10 raised to 5, 6 into 10 raised to 5 and so on. 14 into 10 raised to 5, 16 into 10 raised to 5, 18 into 10 raised to 5 and 20 into 10 raised to 5. This is the value of it is not lambda, instead it is 1 by lambda. Similarly, we have plotted along y-axis, we have plotted the stopping potential, and the duration is 0.1 volt. This is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and so on. When we plot, we get these 3 points, first point, second point, third point. So obviously all these should be in one line, but because of the experimental error we are getting this point out of line. So using these 2 points I am going to draw the graph, and I am going to extend it up to the zero stopping potential. So this straight line I am going to get. So this straight line is there. I want to get the slope of this line. Why we want to get the slope, that I am going to explain at the portion of calculation. So this is the line, I want to get the slope. To get the slope I draw perpendiculars on the x-axis from 14 into 10 raised to 5 and 16 into 10 raised to 5. So 14 into 10 raised to 5, it intersects the graph at this point. 16 into 10 raised to 5 intersects the graph at this point. From these 2 points, I drop perpendicular on x-axis. So the perpendicular dropped by this point on the x-axis intersect the x-axis at 0.37 volts. Similarly, the perpendicular dropped from this point on the x-axis intersects the axis at 0.14 volt. So this interval is equal to 0.37 minus 0.14, and this interval is 16 into 10 raised to 5 minus 14 into 10 raised to 5, that is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5. Now because I want to get the slope means I have to get the tan theta. Tan theta is actually perpendicular divided by base. So the value of perpendicular is equal to 0.37 multiplied by 0.14, which is equal to 0.23. And the value of base is 16 into 10 raised to 5 minus 14 into 10 raised to 5, that is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5. So obviously when 0.23 will be divided by 2 into 10 raised to 5, I am going to get the slope of this curve. Now we are going to understand why we need the slope and how we can calculate the value of the Planck's constant with the help of this photocell. So here is the calculation part. This is the equation given by Einstein. The total energy of the incident radiation gets distributed in two parts. One is the work function of the material, that is the minimum energy required for liberation of electron from the surface of the metal, and the second part goes to the electron in the form of kinetic energy. So I can write the total energy h nu is equal to kinetic energy plus work function. The same can be written as, because it is nu means the frequency is equal to velocity of light divided by the wavelength. So it is hc divided by lambda is equal to 1 by 2 mv square minus work function, or the kinetic energy of the electron is equal to the total energy provided minus work function. The kinetic energy of the electron has been calculated with the help of negative potential, negative stopping potential. So if V0 denotes the stopping potential, EV0 is the maximum kinetic energy which the electron was having, which is emitted by the incident of light. So the kinetic energy can be replaced by EV0. E is the charge on the electron and V0 is the stopping potential. So EV0 becomes equal to hc divided by lambda minus work function. Or I can write V0, that is stopping potential, it becomes equal to hc divided by E lambda minus the work function divided by E. Sorry, here it is a mistake, it will be work function divided by E, okay, because E has been transposed. So this equation, when you see this equation is an equation of a straight line. It is equal to y is equal to ax minus a constant c. So it is straight line, it is not going from the origin, that's why there is an intersection also. Now this is the straight line. In the straight line, this is ax, that is one variable will be there and the remaining will be a constant, and that constant will be the slope of the curve. So this constant is hc divided by E. H is Planck's constant, c is a constant which is speed of light, and E is the charge on the electron which is also a constant. Only lambda is variable, 1 by lambda. So it is the constant or the slope of the graph is hc divided by E. So I can write the slope of the graph is equal to hc divided by E, or the h transposing all others, I get the value of h to be equal to Es divided by C, or E divided by C multiplied by slope, because S is the slope of the curve. So if I know the value of slope, if I know the value of the charge on the electron, if I know the velocity of light, I can easily calculate the constant h. So here I kept the value of E and C. E by C comes to be equal to 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 28. So h becomes equal to 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 28 multiplied by slope. So it is equal to 5.33 into 10 raised to minus 28 multiplied by the slope, as I told you, is 0.23 divided by 2 into 10 raised to 5. So it becomes equal to 6.12 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule second. So this is the value of the Planck's constant obtained experimentally. Actually it is 6.63 into 10 raised to 34. But we are getting the value very near to the actual value. We are getting 6.12 into 10 raised to minus 34. So this is how we calculate it. So mind it, if you get the reading, if you plot the graph, but you haven't calculated the value of h, then your experiment is incomplete. You have to complete the experiment by getting the value of Planck's constant, because the aim was to get the Planck's constants. So that's all in this video. I think you have understand the experiment very fairly, and now you can do without any help.